Good morning. Today is Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, and this is the weekly Bitcoin price forecast. Looking at where Bitcoin went in the last week and where it could potentially go in the future. So we closed out the month of October. Overall, it was negative, a very volatile month, very up and down, but ultimately it ended somewhere around 110, 108. And it's just interesting to see that we're literally still at the same starting point that we were at the beginning of the year. Like you starting this year, you couldn't have told me that that would be the case. My original bull case was okay, we're going to hit about 250,000 by the end of 2025. That did not end up playing out, and I mean, unless you just have mega candles in the next coming weeks, it's just not going to happen. But again, still after the recovery coming from I guess like early 2021 Q2, the Q2 recovery, it just kind of posted up here around 108 and has stayed here consistently pretty much ever since. So again, this is your monthly chart. 21-month moving average is at 88, 50-month moving average is at 63. So again, I don't really see us going too much further below like your low 90s or whatever. Still a lot of room to the upside, but with this being a range, it's a little indecisive right now to be able to read. But the more time is spent ranging, the more violent that the move coming out of it will be. So again, that's just something to look forward to. So whether that be to an initial move down to the or then to the upside, will be yet to be determined, but we will see. And again, looking at the weekly chart, there's a very strong area of support here, which was prior resistance, but is now turned support. Between 104 and 109, this is just shown to be a very strong area of support historically. And I see that continuing to hold at this point. So now you're starting to run into your weekly moving averages. So again, your 21 and 50 week moving average. So, I mean, this is your average price over last year, which at this point is at 100,000. So this is why I say I find it hard to believe that we're going to go too much below 100,000. Again, unless there is just some major type of market event that kind of pulls down the rest of the market. That's the thing about Bitcoin. When it's going, when the market's going up, it's going up very, very strongly, and when the market is going down, it is also going down in an even stronger manner. So it's kind of a double-edged sword in that regard. So on the weekly chart, let's just kind of examine the last couple of weeks. So really, I mean, even going as far back as July, there was an attempt to get up to 118. You even saw this move up to all-time high at 123. Couldn't do it. Sank back down to 108. Shot back up and made a new all-time high, and then shot down one more time. So this time of day, I actually go even lower, down to 104. And then now we're still kind of hanging around 110. So again, worst case, let's say we go down to about 100,000 at this point. Really, if you have something really bad, you could go down to about 86 and clean up the rest of this imbalance that was left over. This got cleaned up, but this has yet to be filled just yet. So that this is about as low as I could see us going. But again, I think that would take a very strong market move to be able to do something like that. Okay, so this is your daily chart. Let's actually turn on the drawings. And actually, I usually turn them on the weekly chart. So we're really just still in this bull flag. Your short-term holder realized price is right here. And again, there's a lot of traffic right here. So very hard to, consistently get below there. So I'm looking at this, and this area has held, this trend line has held very significantly. And we have not really broken below it for any type of sustained amount of time. And then even if we do, now we're running into the bottom of this channel. You're running into 100K. Your 200-day moving average is actually sitting right here. So, I mean, that's a very strong area of support. The higher term moving averages, they generally offer more support than, your 21s or your 50s, which I really just use those more for trend direction, a fast and a slow moving average. But this 200, I really do see that as a level of support. But, again, I've talked about this quite a bit. We see these green channels, and this is what we have been dealing with since really October of 2023. And it has stayed within these channels beautifully. It stayed within the channels beautifully. And so when I say I could see us maybe potentially tapping this one more time before having a violent upswing up to about 145. So, I mean, you could potentially have some type of $50,000 move from here to here. and that wouldn't be out of the question. So, and that could happen in a relatively short manner. So, what ends up happening is like if you're in an uptrend, you may have a slow churn down to get to the bottom side of this channel, but once you hit the bottom of that channel, it moves up way faster. So, like we saw in April here, it hit the bottom of that channel coming off of all types of news. I think tariffs were released around this time, and it ran up, and then it did a small consolidation for that was about 2 months, a little under 2 months, about a month and a half, and then it just shot up once again to make a new area. And so now we'll see. We'll see how this ends up shaking out. Maybe you have a flash down to here before the move to shake out any additional liquidity that's sitting right there, but we'll see if we start breaking below here and continuing to go down. Well, then that would be concerning for sure. And this is why I say I think that 85 and 86 those are unlikely, just because you would really end up breaking this bullish structure that you already have in place that has not been broken for 2 years at this point, over 2 years. Because in 2023, this is when price started to elevate. So, October 23, you saw the run up and then the consolidation, run up, consolidation, run up, major consolidation, and then it could be the next run up before we see here. So I just see us really staying in this channel at this point until, maybe you have some type of break above here. So that's what's going to be the determinant for whatever type of bull market that we may have. It's going to be a break out of this channel. So if you start having a break in either direction, well, I mean, that could be a strong signal. So right now, this is the most long-term signal that we have outside of this, quote unquote escape velocity line that I've been following. So definitely interesting to see. 4-hour chart. I mean, this is very much so in a downtrend. Overall downtrend. You've hit the bottom of this channel, so now I think we could see some type of levity. And get back up here to maybe 118. It would take us getting above there once again to see any type of major movement, but time will tell there. Forest factory, let's look at the economic news. We're still in the middle of this government shutdown at this point, so the economic releases are not really coming out like that. So we see most of these here saying tentative. And we have this message down here saying that the U.S. government is impacting the shutdown. I'm looking at Polymarket because Polymarket has proven itself to be pretty reliable. They're not projecting that this shutdown is going to be over until the end of the month, post Thanksgiving. So, I mean, that's where the money is flowing right now. That's where the bets are flowing. I'm going to take it as is. I mean, because at this point we haven't seen any type of resolution. So, if this goes through, this will be a pretty labor heavy week with ISM manufacturing, ADP. Really all of these heavy-hitting news services, well, these labor numbers, unemployment, non-farm payroll, core PCE price index. So all these ones should be coming out in the coming days if we actually get some type of government, we end the shutdown. But again, I don't see that happening this week. So last week we did have what was it? The interest rates come out. The U.S. did drop by 25 basis points. That's what was expected, so it stayed in line within expectations. Bank of Japan, which I said I was also following, they stayed at their interest rate of about 0.5%, and they have held there since January of this year. So I mean, they went on a little rate. Really, 2024 was them hiking rates, and then they have really paused here. But come December, they have not a joint meeting, but they have the Bank of Japan and the Fed have meetings within a couple of days of each other, and I think you may see a Bank of Japan rate hike, and we'll probably see another cut for the Fed at this point. So, one thing to look at, again, I like to look at different charts for Bitcoin, is the hash ribbon indicator. So your blue line is a 30-day moving average, and your purple line is a 60-day moving average of your hash rate for Bitcoin. And again, that's how much computing power is being utilized at any given point. So we see it's just been on an absolute tear since about July. And the hash rate is just increasing and increasing and increasing. We're seeing some good price action from the actual Bitcoin miners and them actually getting some solid movement in their stock. So it's definitely good to see for the hash rates, which, I mean, it makes the network more secure. But this one, I mean, we had really a little bit of chop between April and May. A bit of capitulation really in your summer months here. So from really most of July, it was capitulation. And then finally, it is just going off to a tear. So that's good to see for the Bitcoin miners and whatnot. It shows for a healthy and kind of robust economy when you do have um, Bitcoin economy at least. When you have these blue moving averages above the purple, your 30 over your 60, because that means that the hash rate is definitely growing substantially. So another reason that I don't think that we're quite near the top is the fact that we just have not seen the fervor. So, like, if we look here historically, your peaks tend to happen at a time where the minor fees, which is yellow, they start to peaking, they start to run it up, and they get real spiky here at this point. So that just we haven't really had that. So you had a spike here in May of 2023, and then you had another spike somewhere around November of 2023. And then this was kind of when price started to run. And what was this here? This was like March of 2024 at this point. All this pre-election. And then this is going into your election season and whatnot. And then since then, it has just been flat. Like the fees, it's only coming from the rewards at this point. So, minor fees are down to 1.37%, and Bitcoin minor rewards, which is them getting actual block, Bitcoin from the blockchain for solving the problem, is 98.6%. It's interesting to see because, like, right now, there's nothing that indicates that, hey, this is like top behavior. There's a blow off top. The worst case scenario is that we just have a prolonged period of ranging for Bitcoin, and it doesn't just really have this kind of. I don't think we're gonna have the blow up and blow off cycles anymore, to where we just run up and absolutely see these crazy all time highs. But I think we will see a continued uptrend. And I mean, this is about as stable as an uptrend as you can get, honestly, from January of 2023 all the way up to now. I mean, if you draw a line there, that's pretty much just a straight uptrend, as opposed to here where you had these parabolic runs. And that was the feature, right? The parabolic runs is what people came to Bitcoin for. So, going from Bitcoin being less than $1, it finally hit $1 here, up to 1,000. That's 1,000x. Way back in 2014, which the stuff was it was much more murky back then. Going down to $200 something and going up to 18,000, and coming down to $5,000 and running up to $60,000. So we're seeing these huge moves, but now it's really just kind of trailed off into an uptrend. It is a consistent uptrend. And so holding Bitcoin is now in your favor and whatnot. It always has been. No one who has held Bitcoin for more than 4 years has lost money. And that's a fact. It just hasn't happened because Bitcoin has continuously gone up. But these parabolic runs look like they are coming to somewhat of a close. So we'll see how that ends up playing out in the future. But as for right now, we play it week by week. So again, this has been Chris Talks Crypto. Check out any crypto-based resources on christalkscrypto.com, and I will see y'all on the moon. Take care. Bye-bye.